Alrighty, guys, so we had a little bit of a red day today in the stock market, and we're going to break that down in this video, and we're going to also go over some earnings, Tesla being the main company we're going to talk about. We're also going to go over Procter & Gamble, IBM, Las Vegas Sands, and a couple of other companies, so sit back, relax, take a sip of your water, hit that like button, feel free to subscribe if you guys want to, and let's get into the video. So, SPY ended up closing down 0.7%. We had the Russell down 1.7%, NASDAQ down about 0.4%, as the Dow went down 0.3%, and the VIX only went up 0.8% on the day, as the metals, silver down, went down 1%, gold down about 1.3%. And what we're noticing here is SPY is slightly above the 180 SMA on the 20-day chart, but slightly under the 50 SMA. And we're pretty much trading in kind of, I don't want to say a sideways channel, but it's clear to me that we have support at about 365 based on today's price action, with resistance right around 370 to about 375. Looking here, even upwards of 380, considering that was the high from the beginning of this month. So SPY's been moving in this little 10, 15 point, maybe even 20 point window over the past, couple of days, as you guys can see. And based on the price action today and yesterday, we're getting some selling under this 180 SMA and under the highs from earlier in October, which, to be honest, in the short term, that is not the best sign for the bulls, in my opinion. And looking here at Triple Q, we're seeing the same thing, right? We've been talking about this for the past couple of videos, so I'm not going to go too deep into it and go too crazy on it. But look, Triple Q, right at the 180 SMA, 275, 280. That's where we've been seeing the selling pressure. We also failed, at least as of now, at the highs from the beginning of this month, being about 280, 285. So keep that in mind, guys. Bears are starting to come in hot. And other than Netflix, really, today, no other stock did very well. Netflix did very, very well. It had a 13% green day. But after that, the next most green stock on my watch list was not even a stock. It was XLE, which is actually an ETF. That went up about 3%. But overall, these markets are starting to weaken up here. And it's kind of like the moment of truth, because we have Tesla, which we're going to talk about now in a second. And then next week, we have a lot of other big companies. A lot of big tech companies are starting to report. So it's that time, guys, the moment of truth for the market to really pick direction. Are we going to end up seeing a legitimate relief rally, or are we going to get a big dump towards the lows? Is Triple Q going to break 255 on the downside? Is SPY going to break, let's say, something like 345, 340? That's what I'm watching in the very short term here for the earnings coming up, and overall, the overall markets, right? SPY, Triple Q, Russell, Dow. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. And if you haven't gotten your 15 stocks from Moomoo yet, use that link down below. Deposit at least $100, and you could get up to 15 stocks, each up to $2,000. And you could also get 12 stocks from Webull with any amount deposited. And just know, guys, all those links down below, they help out the channel. And without you guys, this channel would not be possible. So let's dive into Tesla. Let's pull this up. Ticker symbol TSLA. This closed at 222 today. Barely had a green day, but it did go up about 0.8% on the day. And after the bell, you guys can see it is down about 3%. So it's not anything crazy, more like 3.5%. But at one point, it was down about 7%, which I guess that was, I guess you can categorize that as a decently crazy drop. Nothing that crazy. I mean, we've seen Tesla swing way more than that. But you guys got to realize it's a very big company now. It's not a tiny company like it once was. We're talking multi $100 billion market cap here. So even a 7% swing, that's a pretty big move. 3%, that's a pretty big move. So EPS, adjusted EPS, came in at $1.05 versus $1 estimated, so they beat on that. But, big but, they missed on revenue, guys. $21.45 billion versus $21.96 billion estimated. And let's break down these revenue numbers like I did a couple videos ago. I think that was over the weekend. When did I make that video? I forget. Recently, within the last couple of days, I made a Tesla video, and we talked about their revenue numbers. And I know a lot of you guys, maybe not a lot of you guys, but some of you maybe dropped a dislike, and maybe you didn't like what I said. But numbers are numbers. You can't hate me for it. I'm just the messenger here, guys. Automotive revenue for Q3 came in at $17.78 billion. And again, the overall revenue number was $21.45. That's pretty much a good chunk, a majority of their revenue is coming from automotive revenue. And automotive leasing revenue came in at $621 million, and energy and storage revenue, $1.11 billion. So pretty much everything. And, there's some, there's some credits there, but the majority of the revenue is automotive revenue, right? Or is that credits might be included in automotive revenue? I'm pretty sure they are, actually. Either way, I mean, a lot of it's coming from automotive, what you're seeing on the roads, driving, right? The cars, the Model 3. You guys have seen that, the Model Y. That's where the revenue numbers are really coming from. So Q3 total production increased 54% year over year. Not too bad. And I believe Elon was saying he's going to see, he's expecting to see 50% growth. I'm not too sure how much, how long into the future he's projecting that. But here it says Tesla expects to achieve 50% average annual growth in vehicle deliveries. For how long? I mean, that can't be obviously indefinitely into the future. But 5 years? I could see that being a 5-year number. 10 years? Little bit of a stretch. I mean, that compounded 50%, do the compounded math on that. I mean, 50% every year for 10 years. I mean, that's a lot. I don't know. But for 5 years, 3 to 5 years, I could definitely see that. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And Q3 production, this is some good news. The production rate in Shanghai surpassed previous quarterly records after it had a slow quarter 2 or second quarter, however you want to phrase that. But yeah, I mean, that's not bad for Shanghai. Obviously, you guys know Tesla is not just in the U.S. This company is global. They have factories in many locations across the world. So I would not say this is a terrible report, but obviously it's by no means a great report, right? They missed on revenue, and I'm not sure what the year-over-year number on revenue is, what that growth is, but I'm sure it's slowing down compared to what we saw, of course, in 2020, 2021, even before that. And I don't know, is this slowdown in growth going to be just for now? Is it going to start ramping up? Time will tell. But overall, at this point, the technicals are not good for the bulls here on Tesla. No doubt about it. We have a descending triangle here. As you guys can see, lower highs have been made as we have support at about 200, 205. If this thing, as of now, it's starting to sell back to 200. If it breaks 200, guys, we're going to see some intense selling pressure, in my opinion, on Tesla that could get it down to 170, 75, 180. That's where it could be going. So let's see what else we have here. Procter & Gamble reported, which isn't as, attractive of a company as Tesla, but hey, they did pretty well. The stock went up on the day, and we got to talk about it. $1.57 EPS is what they reported versus $1.56 estimated on revenue of $20.6 billion versus $20.44 billion estimated. So they double beat. Not too bad, and they didn't crush EPS. But they did beat by about a cent. That's pretty good. And look, this stock right now is in bear trap, or rather bull trap territory. This needs to break. It needs to break 135 for us to get more upside in the very short term. I mean, if you're a long-term investor on Procter & Gamble, it doesn't matter, right? Who gives a crap? But in the short term, you got to realize, across this bear market we've been in, throughout the bear market, rather, this has been a resistance. The trend line that I just drew for Procter & Gamble, and just judging off the past couple of rallies we've had throughout the course of this year, it's been a bull trap every time. So is this time different? I don't know. Time will tell. But hopefully, we see a breakout here. We'll see. I mean, I'm not banking on it. I don't have any money in Procter & Gamble right now, full disclosure. But with this earnings beat, maybe, the next quarter or two, we see better numbers. And mind you, this is a defensive company. We're in a recession. This company is one of those that is the cream of the crop for that scenario. So PG, watch out for it. TRV is another one. Travelers companies. They reported, let's see here, $2.20 versus $2.17 estimated on revenue of $9.3 billion versus $9.98. So they actually missed revenue, but they beat EPS. And you guys can see the stock went up 4.4% on the day. And did they report in the morning? Yeah, they did. A lot of that push, the pop came after they reported, which is funny because, again, they missed on revenue. But overall, TRV's been coasting all day, and it actually ran. It pretty much coasted throughout the middle of the day, but right around power hour, even before that a little bit, it started to kick to the upside. It got all the way to the mid-170s. So it looks like this is, starting to break out. It's breaking out of the downwards channel here, you guys can see, and it's above the moving averages. So we might be able to take out in in no time, any day coming up here, we might be able to take out the high from the middle of August being about 175. And if that were to break 180.85, could be right around the corner. So IBM, let's pull this up. IBM is, let's see, they're up, or rather, wait a second, they're up a ton after the bell. Hold on. They closed at 122. Now they're at 127. They did EPS of $1.81 versus $1.78, so that beat. Revenue also beat, $14.11 billion versus $13.55 estimated. So, yeah, no wonder why it's ripping, guys. Revenue crushed it. That came in a lot hotter than expected. The stock pretty much broke even, a little red on the day, went down 0.3 on the day, but it's up over 4% after the bell, and at its highest point, it was up almost 6%. So killer day right now for IBM, and let's see here, or rather killer after market hours, and it's breaking out of the 180, which is good, and now we're about to test the highs here from the beginning of September, being about $1.30. So my guess here is if 130 could break on IBM, high from early September, we got a gap to about 135 to about 138 that could fill. That is my opinion in the very short term here on IBM. Nice beat for them. Las Vegas Sands, pretty much unchanged here. They reported wrong line there. I'm reading the wrong line in the notes, guys. Adjusted EPS of -27 for Las Vegas Sands versus -24 estimated on revenue of $1 billion versus $992.4 million estimated. So they actually missed EPS barely, but they did. And they beat revenue. Not too bad. And again, the stock is unchanged. We are at the bottom of this channel now. Let's see. Do we end up getting buying pressure? Mid-high 30s. We break $40. We got to wait and see. We're not getting any signs of that quite yet. And we're not even getting a sign of a dump or an extreme sell-off. So watch out for Las Vegas Sands. And the last one for today, guys, is LRCX, which is, let's see here, Lam Research, right? This went up 2.5% on the day. And they've reported, and they ended up doing $10.42 in earnings per share versus $9.55 estimated on revenue of $5.07 billion versus $4.88 estimated. So nice double beat for Lam Research, and it's looking like it initially shot up $15, which is about 5%, big pop after the bell, and now it's cooled off. But still, it is up about 1%, not bad here after the bell, after doing reporting a pretty nice double beat. But overall, it is still in a downtrend, guys. Keep that in mind. This is not the best sign for Lam Research. And for me to even consider trading it, I don't know. I mean, I probably won't trade it, to be honest, but I'm just covering it here really for the earnings. But if it does break, let's say 410, 20, 425, that's where we could start getting a move here on Lam Research. But overall, I'm going to cut the video a little bit short today, guys. I actually kind of got to get out of here. I'm getting dinner later tonight, and I got to get ready. So if you all enjoyed the quick little video tonight, well, maybe it's not quick, depending on what your standards are for, or what you think quick is. For this channel here, if you're new, 20 minutes, 22, 23 minutes for the night video is the standard. And now we're about 13 minutes in, but we're going to wrap it up. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe. Check out my Patreon link down below. And don't forget to get your 15 stocks from Moomoo and your 12 stocks from Webull. Free money, guys. Link down below. And with that being said, I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out.